To be successful in sewing, you need to first thread the machine properly. So you take your spool of thread and place it on the spool pin. You're gonna grab your thread and drag it over to this first thread guide. It's almost like a little clip where you go behind the little metal piece and lift up, and it's just gonna place that thread in the right spot. You're gonna take your thread and bring it forwards, following this arrow here, and then you're gonna drag the thread down. You're gonna go around this little guard here, bring the thread to the left, and you're gonna follow this arrow and bring the thread back up. You're then gonna follow this arrow. It's like a U shape. You need to see the thread take up lever, which is right here, and the thread needs to go through that in order for the machine to operate. If you don't see the thread take up lever, then you need to take your hand wheel, moving it towards you, and make sure that the thread take up lever is in the upright position. If I actually lower this and it's hidden, then you can't do this next step. So then I'm just gonna move my hand wheel towards me until I see that thread take up lever. So then I'm gonna take the thread, go around and kind of lasso around the thread take up lever. And what you should see is the thread through that take up lever. Then you're gonna bring the thread down on the other side of this guard. And then there's another thread guide. And what you do with the thread is from right to left, slide the thread behind this little paperclip looking metal piece, and the thread just sits in place. Then the next thing is there's another little thread guide right here, this little tab. You can just take your thread and place it behind and kind of drag it to the right so that the thread goes straight down through the machine. And then the last step, which you might want to lower your presser foot for, is to then thread your needle. So you want to grab the thread as close to the end of the thread as possible so you have the most control over it. At this time, you might want to turn the machine on so you have the light, but make sure both feet are on the floor before you do this so that way you don't accidentally start sewing. And place your thread through the eye of the needle. Sometimes you might actually need to just clip the end of the thread so that way it's a nice clean end. Usually what I like to do is once I get the thread through the eye of the needle, I kind of press my finger against the thread so that way I can then reach around and grab with my other hand to pull to the left. So you always want to thread your needle from right to left, front to back. And there's the top of my machine. The next step is to place the bobbin in the machine. So the first thing is you want to make sure that your bobbin is moving counterclockwise. So an easy trick is to place this on the counter and pull on the thread, and it should be moving counterclockwise, which is this way. If it's moving clockwise, this is wrong, then all you need to do is just flip it. Then you can pick up your bobbin, place it in the bobbin case, and then you're gonna grab the thread, and there's a little slit in the bobbin case. You're gonna grab your thread and place it through the little slit, bring it around into this opening. Then there's a little lever almost, it's a little handle. This part of the bobbin is going to be pointing upwards. You're gonna hold on to this piece, make sure that the bobbin, if you let go, the bobbin might fall out, so just be careful. And you're gonna place this into the bottom compartment. Sometimes it clicks in place, sometimes it doesn't, but just wiggle it to make sure that it isn't rotating around down in the bottom compartment. Then the next step is we call going fish, really, or you're going fishing. So I'm gonna hold the thread coming from the needle with my left hand. Using my right hand, I'm gonna use the hand wheel and I'm gonna lower, always moving my hand wheel towards, your thumb towards you. Lower the needle down and bring it back up just once. And what's gonna happen underneath the machine is it's gonna grab the thread and you're gonna pull with your left hand the thread that's coming from the needle, and what you have is that little loop. You can see the green thread or the teal thread. You can either take your finger or take a closed pair of shears, grab or place these through the loop and drag to the left of the machine. And then you have your bobbin thread on the top of the machine under the presser foot. You can close your compartment. And then actually what I like to do before I start sewing is take the top thread from your needle, and there should be a little slit either in the front of your presser foot or off to the side. And you're gonna place that thread underneath the presser foot. Actually, both threads should go under the presser foot and over to the left. And now you are ready to sew.